Okay. 264. Ragadvesa vimuktestu vishayan indriyascharan atma vaishyar videyatma prasadam adhigacchati. Raga dvesha. So attachment and aversion. Vimukta means one who has become free. So what is about them? Krishna is going to say. Please someone read. Translation and verse purport.
But a person free from all attachment and aversion and able to control his senses through regulative principles of freedom can obtain the complete mercy of the Lord. It is already explained that one may externally control the senses by some artificial process, but unless the senses are engaged in the transcendental service of the Lord, there is every chance of a fall. Although the person in full Krishna consciousness may apparently be on the sensual plane because of his being Krishna consciousness, he has no attachment to sensual activities. The Krishna conscious person is concerned only with the satisfaction of Krishna and nothing else. Therefore, he is transcendental to all attachment and detachment. If Krishna wants, the devotee can do anything which is ordinarily undesirable. And if Krishna doesn't want, he shall not do that which he would have ordinarily done for his own satisfaction. Therefore, to act or not to act is within his control because he acts only under the direction of Krishna. This consciousness is the causeless mercy of the Lord, which the devotee can achieve in spite of his being attached to the sensual platform.
Thank you so much. So how to get free from attachment and aversion? Attachment is something I like. Aversion is something I dislike. I don't like. So Arjuna is not liking here to fight. He likes to be with relatives. Like we may have our own attachment and aversion. Like we may like ice cream, but we may not like some fresh vegetables. Some people may not like the bitter melon, bitter gourd. Some people may not like brinjal or eggplant, like that. So we may have our attachment. Some people like to eat something. Some people like some people hate some people. So that kind of attachment and aversion, that may be because of our past conditioning. Right? We see that, oh, these kind of people, they help me. So, like we start making generalization. We start thinking that, oh, Indians are like this, Chinese are like that. African will be like this. So we start making, okay, these are nice people or these are not nice people. So that attachment aversion is based on our previous conditioning. So one can overcome that. It may become a block in our service to Krishna, because Krishna says, okay, so Krishna says to us, how Krishna gives order to us? Can someone share to me? How we will get the direction of Krishna in our life? For Arjuna, Krishna is directly with him. So Krishna wants, okay, Arjuna, you fight. For us, how we will get direction of Krishna?
We get opportunities to do what Krishna wants, and it's up to us how we avail it.
Okay, so how do we know what Krishna wants for us? Is like from the superior authority, like we accept spiritual master and get instruction from spiritual master. We ask the spiritual master to give us direction how we should serve Krishna. We understand Krishna's liking, Krishna's desirable service from our spiritual master, Guru. Thank you. So, if our spiritual master says, okay, if you go to Africa and preach Krishna consciousness there, Krishna will be pleased. I may be averse to going to Africa, but then because I am fully convinced in the instruction of Krishna coming through my spiritual master, then I can disregard my liking or disliking, and I can overcome the attachment and aversion from my own side. I am attached to being in America, and I may be averse to go to Africa, but then when I am regulated, regulative principle of freedom, regulation. So when I'm regulated, there should be a regulator. So when I'm regulated, when I accept the regulation of my spiritual master by accepting his instruction as Krishna's instruction, then I can receive the complete mercy of the Lord. Yes, Srila Prabhupada says a devotee ordinary does not like, but he will do for Krishna. He may like to do something, but he will not do if Krishna does not want. So that's how we can overcome our own tendencies. Any question on that? Okay, let's move. We can do the question answer after we finish the section. 65. Prasade sarva dukkhanam hanirasyo prasanna chetaso hiyasu buddhir paryavatishtate. Prasada is coming. Prasada means mercy. Mercy of the Lord. It's not just the food, but mercy of the Lord. It may come in any form. It may come as instruction. It may come as food. It may come as any other thing in our life. So ultimately it is mercy of Krishna. So translation, I can just read it, it's a short one. For one that is satisfied in Krishna consciousness, the threefold miseries of material existence exist no longer. In such satisfied consciousness, one's intelligence is soon well established. So in previous verse, Lord Krishna says, if you overcome your aversion and attachment, then you can get satisfaction in Krishna consciousness because you receive the mercy of Krishna. So Krishna is pleased with us when we disregard our own attachment and aversion, and for Krishna's pleasure we do what Krishna wants. Then we receive Krishna's mercy, prasadam, and then we get satisfaction because of Krishna's mercy. Because Krishna is pleased, then we receive the satisfaction in our heart. And when we are satisfied in that way, then sarva dukkhanam hani. So all the dukkha or the threefold miseries of material existence are finished. They do not exist any longer. Finished. In such satisfied consciousness, one's intelligence is soon well established. So intelligence is well established. Buddhi is avatisthate, become established. That means one is not hankering after achieving something or lamenting after losing something. Get satisfaction by serving Krishna. It's a nice verse. Nasti buddhi. 266. Nasti buddhir ayuktasya nacha ayuktasya bhavana nacha abhavatayah santir ashantasya kutah sukham. Okay, let's volunteer. Next.
One who is not connected with the Supreme in Krishna consciousness can have neither transcendental intelligence nor a steady mind, without which there is no possibility of peace. And how can there be any happiness without peace? Purport. Unless one is in Krishna consciousness, there is no possibility of peace. So it is confirmed in the 5th chapter, 529, that when one understands that Krishna is the only enjoyer of all good results of sacrifice and penance, that he is a proprietor of all universal manifestation, and that he is the real friend of all living entities, then only can one have real peace. Therefore, if one is not in Krishna consciousness, there cannot be a final goal for the mind. Disturbance is due to want of an ultimate goal, and when one is certain that Krishna is the enjoyer, proprietor, and friend of everyone and everything, then one can, with a steady mind, bring about peace. Therefore, one who is engaged without relationship with Krishna is certainly always in distress and is without peace. However, much he may make a show of peace and spiritual advancement in life. In Krishna consciousness is the self-manifested peaceful condition which can be achieved only in the relationship with Krishna.
Thank you so much. So we can do a self-check from this verse. Srila Prabhupada is saying that outwardly we can show a peace, but then inside, whether we are peaceful or not, that determines how much we are established in Krishna consciousness. As soon as we are established in Krishna consciousness within our heart, inside, then Srila Prabhupada says it is a self-manifested peaceful condition. So that is achieved only in relationship with Krishna. Krishna is saying that if someone is not connected, na asti buddhi, so one's intelligence is not connected with Krishna, nasti buddhi ayuktasya. The intelligence is not transcendental. Then the mind will not be steady. When the mind is not steady, then there is no peace. If someone is not peaceful, then how can one be happy? So the Prabhupada is quoting verse 29, that is the last verse in chapter 5. When we progress through that chapter, we will read it. Lord Krishna says, Bhoktaram yagya tapasam sarvaloka maheshwaram. So he says, I am the Bhokta. Lord Krishna says, I am the enjoyer of all the yagya and tapa, austerities and penances, all the sacrifices, yagya. I am the Sarvaloka Maheshwaram. So I am the Ishvara of Ishvara, Maha Ishvara of Sarvaloka, means all the planets, different planets like sun, moon, you have, Mars, all other, Jupiter, all those different planets. There are unlimited planets. So Lord Krishna says, I am the Maha Ishvara. So every planet has their presiding Devata, Ishvara. Like for us, Bhumi Devi is our Ishvara, presiding deity. For sun god, it is Vivashwan. For sun planet, sun god Vivashwan. For moon planet, Somadev. So like that, every planet has Ishvara, controller of that planet. Lord Krishna says, I am the controller of those controllers. Sarvaloka Maheshwaram. So Krishna says, I am the enjoyer of all the sacrifices that you do. I am the controller of all the planets. And Sarvaloka Maheshwaram. Suhridam Sarva Bhutanam. He says, I am the friend of everyone. Suhrida means I'm the best friend of everyone. So if we know that Krishna is our best friend, then we will not be afraid of anything, right? When we realize that. Right now, when somebody who is a very, very, very big man, somebody who is very rich, somebody who is very powerful, then we feel very confident that yes, that person will help me. So I should not worry about these, problems, because I have so and so big, so and so leader is my friend, so and so industrialist is my friend, like that. So we feel confident. So Krishna is full of all the opulences. Krishna is full of intelligence. Krishna is full of beauty. Krishna is full of strength. Krishna is full of knowledge. Krishna is full of wealth, right? And he has everything, infinite quality, infinite amount. He owns everything. So when we understand that, wow, Krishna is my best friend. Krishna says, Suhritam Sarva Bhutana. Krishna is my best friend. So what should I worry about? There is nothing to worry. Then I become peaceful. Then I can become happy. Okay, 67. Indriyanam hi charatam yanmano nu vidhiyate tadasya harati pragyam vayurnava vivamasi. Okay, next volunteer.
As a strong wind sweeps away a boat on the water, even one of the roaming senses on which the mind focuses can carry away a man's intelligence. But unless all, even one of them engaged in sense gratification can deviate the devotee from the path of transcendental advancement. As mentioned in the life of Maharaja Ambarisha, all of the senses must be engaged in Krishna consciousness, for that is a correct technique for controlling the mind.
Thank you so much. So earlier Krishna says that you become matpara. Tani sarvani sanyamya yukta asita matpara. Yukta asita. You be connected to me, matpara. Become matpara devotee. So Srila Prabhupada gave the example of matpara devotee who is completely using all his senses in Krishna's service. So Maharaj Ambarish was using his leg to go to Krishna's temple, using his hand to clean Krishna's temple, using his nose to smell flower offered to Krishna, using his tongue to taste tulsi leaf offered to Krishna. Like that, he was glorifying Krishna by his mouth and using his ear to hear about Krishna's glory, Krishna's name, fame, glories. So he was using all his senses, and therefore Krishna, Srila Prabhupada tells us that we have to use all our senses in Krishna service. Even if one sense is, Krishna is saying here, even if one sense is not being used, occupied properly, not given a proper engagement in service of Krishna, then it will pull us down. Immediately, like when we see something, then we start thinking about something, and then the thought goes to some negative direction. Or when we hear about some sound, and then it gives us indication of something, and that pulls all our senses to go in that direction. So one sense, like eye, may drive our ear, your tongue, all our other senses like nose, skin, and all other senses can be driven just by one senses not engaged in Krishna service. So Krishna is telling Arjuna that you have to engage all your senses. Otherwise, just because of one sense not engaged properly, then it will be derailed. Like there is a model for the whole body. It's like a cart being pulled by 5 horses. Eye, nose, tongue, ear, and skin. All of them are different 5 horses pulling the cart. And if one horse want to go to the ditch, then all 4 will also follow. And the whole cart goes to the ditch, out of the path. So one has to be very careful. That's what Krishna is saying. Krishna is concluding this section with Tasmad. Therefore, he says, therefore, what to do here? Verse 68. Tasmasya mahabaho nigrihitani sarvashah indriyani indriyarthebhya tasya pragya pratisthita. Okay. Let's see who is not read today.
Therefore, O mighty armed, one whose senses are restrained from their objects is certainly of steady intelligence. One can curb the forces of sense gratification only by means of Krishna consciousness or engaging all the senses in their transcendental love, loving service of the Lord. As enemies are curbed by superior force, the senses can similarly be curbed not by any human endeavor, but only by keeping them engaged in the service of the Lord. One who has understood this, that only by Krishna consciousness is one really established in intelligence, and that one should practice this art under the guidance of the bona fide spiritual master, is called a sadhyaka, or a suitable candidate for liberation.
Thank you so much. Sadhaka. Yes, thank you. Yeah, so Krishna says, therefore, because if you let loose your senses, then you will not get satisfaction, because your senses will be pulling, your mind will be disturbed, you will not get peace, you will not be happy. So what to do to become happy? He says, yes, you control your senses from the sense objects. Srila Prabhupada is telling that one who has understood this, what to understand, that by Krishna consciousness, one is really established in intelligence. So we have to understand this point, that I will be established in my intelligence only by Krishna consciousness, and that I should practice this under the guidance of my spiritual master. So we have to understand that we have to take shelter of a bona fide spiritual master. Who is bona fide spiritual master? Who has received the knowledge from another bona fide spiritual master, coming in disciplic succession. One time discussion, we were referring to the disciplic succession, our own disciplic succession, coming down from Krishna himself up to our founder Acharya Srila Prabhupada and his disciples now. So we have to understand this. Then we are suitable candidate for liberation. So we have to be fully convinced that only by Krishna consciousness, my intelligence will be established in peace and satisfaction. And I have to learn how to engage myself in Krishna consciousness from a bona fide spiritual master. So that is the practice of sadhaka. Like we are practicing devotee when we engage in service of Krishna under the guidance of a spiritual master. So let me share some interesting slides. I think after I was rebooted, some of my slides are gone. In the meantime, let us see if anybody have question while I am pulling out the PowerPoint. Yeah. Any questions so far? So far we read. Okay. All right. Let me share this one again. Okay. Okay. You guys can see the slide now, right?
Yes.
Thank you. So 64 and 65, Lord Krishna is saying, what is the benefit of focusing on Lord's form? So that means Krishna consciousness. Matpara. So engaging like Ambarish Maharaj, the king Ambarish, he was using his senses in Krishna's form, service of Krishna, Krishna's form. So 64 and 65 is about engaging ourselves in Krishna's service. When we are engaged in Krishna's service, then we can overcome Raga and Dvesha. Raga and Dvesha will not allow us to be established in peaceful condition. So we have to overcome that. Because every moment we have something, wanting or something disliking. So we want, cool breeze now, but it's hot in India. Somewhere in Canada now, they want the weather to be warm now, but still they have cold, freezing. So Sukha and Dukha, heat and cold will be coming and going. Lord Krishna says, my dear Arjuna, you learn to tolerate. Right? So we have to regulate ourselves. By regulating our senses, then we can overcome Raga and Dvesa. How to regulate the senses? By engaging in Krishna's service. Then we can get Krishna's mercy, then we can get satisfaction, then we can overcome all the miseries of material existence, and our intelligence is soon well established. So somebody may say, oh, regulated freedom, what do you mean? You are saying regulating, and then you are saying freedom. So here is an example of the traffic light, right? So how we get the freedom? By regulating our senses. So it sounds like contradictory, right? So freedom means we think that, okay, I can eat anything, I can sleep anytime, I can, like people are there, they run in the midnight or they sleep during the daytime, up to whole day, then they work the whole night. Anyway, so people think that they can use their senses in whatever way, that is freedom. But then what happens? It puts inconvenience to others' life. So others will suffer. Similarly, that street light, the traffic rules are made so that everybody has freedom to travel on highway or any road. If you don't have traffic rules, then there will be accidents. So where is the freedom? There will not be freedom. There will be only chaos. So the regulation gives freedom to everyone. That was the point of this slide. So there are some practical questions, some self-reflections, meditation for ourselves to think. What is the most valuable thing that we have in our life, and how would you utilize that valuable thing? So we have to think that, because now it's the time, high time. Now I get the news every now and then. I call somewhere in India and say, oh, my parents are like COVID. And I call, oh, my brother passed away. Like this kind of news coming every now and then. So we have to understand, what is the most valuable thing that we have. It is said in the scriptures that right now, what we have now, The most valuable thing we have is our body right now, right? Although we know that we are eternal soul, eternal part and parcel of Krishna. But how to understand that? We have to use our intelligence, our mind, our senses. They are all part of this body, subtle body or gross body. So whatever Krishna has given to us, this body is a suitable boat to cross over the turmoil of this material ocean. This material world is called Bhava Sagara, the ocean, which has turbulence of disease, bad weather, natural calamities, miseries, different kind of miseries, because of our own mind and senses, because of our other living entities, because of the natural calamities, we are suffering. So the scripture says that the body is the most suitable boat given by Krishna, the human body, not the animal body, but human body is the suitable boat. And the boatman is the spiritual master. So when we offer our boat to the spiritual master to steer the boat, then he can steer out of the dangerous ocean of material miseries. And what is suitable bridge? The knowledge of Bhagavad Gita, knowledge of Srimad Bhagavatam, knowledge of the scriptures coming through the spiritual master is the suitable bridge to help the boat to move. So getting the support from expert boatmen and favorable bridge, use this body to cross beyond the material ocean of miseries. Dukkhalayam ashashvatam. Lord Krishna says, in future chapters we will learn about this. Dukkhalayam ashashvatam. Chapter 8 we will go. Chapter 8 is about attaining the Supreme. Lord Krishna says, you go out of this material world, which is dukkha alaya. Like we have bhojan alaya. Bhojan alaya, we get food. So dukkha alaya, where we get dukkha, all miseries. So in verse 66, he says, if you are not connected in Krishna consciousness, then you cannot have a steady mind, you cannot have transcendental intelligence, there is no peace, there is no happiness without peace. And Srila Prabhupada says in purport, Krishna consciousness is a self-manifested peaceful condition which can be achieved only in relationship with Krishna. We can achieve only in relationship with Krishna. Like it is the peaceful condition, peace formula. When we know Krishna, who is the most powerful, who is the source of everything, is my best friend. So no fear. So then I can become peaceful and happy. So what happens to one who does not focus on Lord's form? Then nasti buddhi ayuktasya na chayuktasya bhavana. So the buddhi is not connected, the mind is not become turbulent, not steady. Unsteady state means turbulent condition, up and down, hankering or lamentation, worry, anxiety, fear, no peace, no happiness. So in the material world, when we are conditioned, then we are desiring many things. We are not connected to Krishna. That means we are trying to fulfill extraneously, artificially, our demand for happiness or satisfaction. We are looking for happiness in the place where there is no happiness. Dukkhalayam ashashvatam. We are looking for shashvat and sukha. We are looking for eternal, blissful life. But Krishna says, this material world is temporary and full of. So as we said, like we are looking for water in mirage. There is no drop of water in mirage. So we have to look for the place where we get the real water, the spiritual water. So we are just running here and there, insatiated. We have innumerable desires because we are running after something illusory where there is absence of that thing in this material world. But then when we are engaging in Krishna's service, even living in this material world, even living in this body, we can achieve that peaceful condition when we are connected. So this is a summary of 64 to 66. A jiva, living entities, a soul, can become free from attachment and aversion and control the senses. Then one can get complete mercy of the Lord, one can get satisfaction in Krishna consciousness, then there is no question of any threefold miseries. Well, one may ask, one is still in the material world. But yes, a devotee who is connected with Krishna can tolerate all the miseries because his focus is in Krishna. He is engaged in Krishna's service. He is so much engaged in Krishna's service that he does not pay attention to heat, cold, and all the things going on around. He does not become dumb and deaf, but then he's sensitive, but he has a higher purpose in life. He is engaged in Krishna's service. He is deriving so much pleasure, so much happy, that not looking for any material happiness, not disturbed by external bodily conditions. But on the other hand, if someone is not connected to Krishna, does not have transcendental intelligence, no steady mind, no peace, no happiness. Without peace, a strong wind can sweep away a boat. Similarly, one roaming senses can drive us out of our path, out of Krishna consciousness. So Krishna has given us our mind, senses, and all the objects so that we can engage. Rishikena Rishikesha Sevanam Bhakti Ruchate. So the devotion, the definition of bhakti is that when we use our Rishika, that means our senses, in service of Krishna, Rishikesha. When we use our senses in service of the owner of the senses, then that is devotional service. That's why Krishna has given. That's why Krishna has given senses to us so that we can engage our senses in Krishna's service. That we can reciprocate love with Krishna. Ultimately, the goal of life is to develop our dormant. Everybody has, the soul by nature has full of love for Krishna, but it is covered with material lust, different degrees of lust. We learned that in chapter 3, how the soul is covered in different degree of lust. So because of that, we are not feeling satisfied when we are covered by lust. But when that material covering is removed, when our dormant love for Krishna is developed, how we can develop that dormant? By practicing. Practice to use our mind and senses and everything we have in our possession in Krishna's service. Therefore, O mighty armed one, mighty armed Arjuna, one whose senses are restrained from their objects is certainly of steady intelligence. So, theoretically, we can learn from philosophy that there is something higher taste. There is some real water there, out there. We are in suffering in this Dukkhalayam, a Sashvatam place, searching for water in mirage. But we can get that water to quench our thirst. There is something higher than this material world. We can get a higher taste. That's the knowledge we can get. And under the guidance of a spiritual master, we can practice when we practice to serve Krishna using our senses, like Ambarish Maharaj, when we taste the flower offered to Krishna, we can offer flower to Krishna and we can smell. We can offer our whatever resources we have to Krishna, and we can utilize that. We can distribute prasadam. We can buy nice flavorful food. We can prepare very nice, Srila Prabhupada says, palatable dishes and offer to Krishna, and we can receive Krishna's mercy, prasadam. Then our tongue is satisfied, our belly is satisfied, we get nourished. Prasadam is the one which relieves us. We understood from the higher text verse, when we offer everything to Krishna, then we get the mercy of Krishna, then our senses are purified, and then we feel satisfaction in Krishna's relationship. That is the principle of bhakti. By bhakti, one becomes fully satisfied. As enemies are curbed by superior forces, the senses can be curbed, not by any human endeavor, not by our endeavor. Like Aditya was asking, like, how can we control our senses? We are seeing Vishwamitra and other big Rishi Munis, they are failing. Lord Shiva, example given. But we cannot do anything. Only we have to serve Krishna, whatever capacity we have, and Krishna will control our senses. Like here they are chanting and dancing blissfully. No extraneous need, simply chanting and dancing. We are well established in satisfaction and happiness. So living entities, if one senses are let loose, then it will derail us. It will pull us off the road. Our intelligence will be lost. Therefore, we have to control the senses from the sense objects, and Krishna says, in that way you will be established in self-intelligence, steady intelligence. Srila Prabhupada says that we can practice this under one of our spiritual master, and then we become sadhaka, candidate for liberation. So that's all we have in the slide. Now, what is sadhaka? What is the word sadhaka means? I want to ask. Somebody can share?
Yeah, consistent practice.
Yes, sadhana, yes. So right now, sadhaka means our senses are naturally not attracted to Krishna. We are not practiced to serve Krishna right now. Our tendencies are to serve our own senses, engage in sense gratification. That's what it's called. So our tendencies are going away from Krishna. Sadhana means to practice, to control our senses and focus in Krishna's service. To practice that under guidance of Guru, to serve Krishna, that is sadhana. Therefore, we are called sadhakas. This is called sadhana bhakti. When we engage our senses in worshipping Krishna, in glorifying Krishna, in trying to understand Krishna's instruction in Gita, these are all sadhana bhakti. But when we are in developed consciousness, when we are established in love with Krishna, then we are not sadhaka anymore. We are pure devotees, like we are bhakta. Then we become Bhagavat. So sadhana stage, we are in sadhana stage. But those whose consciousness are naturally in Krishna. Whatever they do, they only think of Krishna. Like gopis, 24 hours, they only think of Krishna. Whether Krishna is away, Krishna is with them, out of them, all the time they think of Krishna. All the Brijvasis, all Krishna's friends, parents, 24 hours they think of Krishna. Their natural attraction is for Krishna. We have to develop that love. Then we become eligible to play with Krishna, to be around Krishna, to serve Krishna. So we develop that. So we are eligible, right candidate for liberation. Liberation means to be engaged in Krishna's service. So right candidate means Krishna will hire us in his service. Right now we are practicing. We are practicing to get job in Krishna's service. We may be practicing in college or school to become an engineer or a doctor. We may be doing our internship. We may be doing our residency. So these are all different practices, practicing stage. So we are apprentice. So we have to take direction from instructor who will teach us how to practice. So we are practicing stage. And when we practice nicely and when we graduate, that means Krishna will hire us. Krishna will give us job. Krishna will give us service in his spiritual world. Then we are fully Krishna conscious. We are naturally, our tendency is to remember and serve Krishna. At that time, we don't have to work hard to get our senses attention to Krishna. But naturally, we will be attentive to Krishna's service and aloof from our own selfish desires. Our desire will match with Krishna's desire. Any question on that further? Okay, thank you, Anil Prabhu. Okay, Narayana Prabhu is here. He is saying something. Hare Krishna Prabhu announce for drama on May 3rd. Okay, Prabhu, please unmute and announce Prabhu. Hare Krishna, Narayana Prabhu, Anand Prabhu.
Yeah, Hare Krishna, everyone. So, second chapter, as Ropilas Prabhu was telling, next week it is going to be completed. So, the rule, so we are doing a drama for completion of chapter and covering up all the essence of the chapter. So whoever is interested, we can give your names. We need totally 10 characters. Most likely we'll fill up from the batch that is going on now. If we don't have any other, then we go for other groups. So first of all, who is interested? I think Pratima has joined. I think she is very good fit for, and Lavlina Mataji also there. So
yes, they the first drama, yeah. Okay.
yeah,
Yeah,
those
sure.
two.
Okay, sure.
Anil
And,
Prabhu, you can also join this time.
What over?
Anil Prabhu is there. Anil Prabhu is here. I'm requesting him also to join the drama.
Yeah,
group.
anybody. So I want the names so that first of all we take from this group, and then we go for other groups.
Yeah.
Pratimaji, already is it okay for you to participate?
Yes, yes, Narayanji. I should be able to join
Yeah.
this time. Hmm.
We'll start the rehearsals from next Sunday onwards.
Okay.
So this time, what we do is we'll do the recording and present in the May 3rd Sunday
Okay.
instead of for live, because in the live means a lot of disturbance last time we see, and
Okay.
we'll record it. And this is going to be very excellent. I'm telling, second chapter in all over India, people are watching like anything. That
Very
is,
nice.
we
Okay.
did it in Telugu, so that's what people are watching it. So same thing we do in English now, and totally 10 characters we need for this second chapter. And also Lavalina Mataji, are you okay?
Yeah, sure, Prabhu.
Yeah, sure. And who else I can take from this? Soumi Sekhar or somebody I'm seeing in the list. And Anil Prabhu, are you okay?
Prabhu, I don't think I can make it, Prabhu.
Okay, that's fine.
Yeah.
Hmm. Okay.
What about Swami Mataji is there?
Maybe Rupalas Prabhu, you can take one role.
What time you are practicing?
Yes.
Sunday will fix up sometime. Most
No,
likely,
right
most
now, tell us everybody so that.
no, weekdays 8 o'clock in the evening we plan, Prabhu.
Okay. Okay, let's say Swami Mataji is unmute. Mataji, are you interested, available? Haribol, Swami Mataji? Swami? It seems unmute, but there is no sound. Okay. Okay, Prabhu, you are telling about timing.
Yeah, timing normally weekdays 8 o'clock in the evening will fix up so that people can come from office and they can.
Weekday, 8 o'clock, that's the problem now. I am 6:30 to 8:30 every night. I am busy, Prabhu. That's the problem with me.
So I observed last time the first chapter rehearsals, Pratima had some problem in the evening from office. She has to come, and maybe 8:30, maybe too late. I think 8:30 is okay for everyone.
I mean, for me, yeah, that's how it will happen. 8:30, it goes up to 8:30. 6:30 to 7:30, then another batch I have 7:30 to 8:30. Monday to Friday. So Saturday night I am available from 7:30 onwards.
Maybe Saturday we can start then.
So how many rehearsals you want? How many
I'm
rehearsals?
okay with Saturday as well.
Yeah, Saturday we can fix up some time in the evening. Saturday one rehearsal, Sunday one rehearsal. That's all. And, one of the weekdays will fix up and we'll do the final recording. Otherwise,